All right, Harold, we should be ready to go. You may need to unmute yourself, Harold. Sorry. You got it, Harold.
Got it. Okay, good. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is the minutes of the October 19th meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2020 meeting. And I think it's important that we note that we did not have meetings in November of 2020, December 2020, or January 2021. Sam, you need to unmute. There you go.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other questions on the minutes? If not, we all approve? I approve.
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 All right, it passed 3-0. Thank you.
Minutes are approved. Next thing on the agenda is the invoice that we have.
Yeah, I'll maybe give you guys a quick summary. If you wouldn't mind, I may run you through the financial reports real quick.
Would you do that, please?
Yeah, Jasmine sent you guys a separate email that had the financial reports from Huntington Bank. Just as a reminder, Huntington Bank was selected as a trustee for the bond. So you actually got 3 reports. One is the bond issuance expense account, which is the one that has the ending value of $118,000. And you'll see there was already some disbursements out of that of $40,000. That was our financial advisor and our bond counsel's fees. And so this fee for Taylor, Kincaid, Chad, and Manette will come out of that account. It's a bond issuance expense as well. So that will come out of that account. The other account then that you have, the one that has the $8,927,000 balance, is the construction account for 100 South. So as we start receiving claims from the contractor, that's where we'll actually pay those claims from that $9 million.
Okay.
The third account that has 0 balance is a bond interest account. And so as of now, there is no bond interest, and that's why it has a 0 balance. As I mentioned, the claim for Taylor, Kincaid, Chad, and Manette is for their review of making sure that all the bond documents and the lease and everything was done, and then they actually recorded the lease and everything as well. So that's their attorney's fees. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, the question I have, Ryan, is we started out with 10 million, right? Total?
That's correct.
And at the beginning of January, it looks like, based on a quick adding up here, we're down to around 9,100,000. I wonder what expenses occurred. I assume these were some sort of closing expenses.
No, I believe what's missing, I think there's 2 things actually missing. I think there's a debt service reserve that we're required to have for the bond.
Okay.
And then there was also the premium that they agreed to pay. And I don't believe that premium is actually showing up in the account yet. And if you guys recall, that was about $475,000.
Right.
So I think a couple of those things, I just wasn't able to track down the location of those things, but I believe those are the 2 things that are the difference that you're seeing. We have not, the only expenses we've had so far is the $40,000 that you can see in that report for bond issuance expenses. And then this $10,000, we have not expensed any of the rest of the bond.
Any other questions on who actually contracts this firm to for the put all this together? That's part of Huntington's deal?
Are you talking about Taylor, Chad, Minette, Schneider, and Clutter? Sorry, Mitchell.
Yes, yes.
That's actually Mitchell and Dan. That's the town attorneys.
The town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, they were working on our behalf. So
Very good.
Heard them.
Another question I have on that, I assume that this is not, and I guess maybe I address this to Mitchell. I assume there's not a itemized on this. This is just like a normal fee, if you will, at 0.1%.
Yeah, it's not a percentage based on the bond amount. What we try to do as accurately as possible is calculate how much time we will spend in getting all of the bond documents together and reviewing them, discussing them with your bond counsel. And then this also will certainly cover all of the expenses that we have throughout the life of the bond as well. So you're not going to see any additional invoices come in through us. So this kind of just takes in everything all together based off of the size of the bond and the amount of years it has outstanding.
Any other questions on this? If not, I think we probably need a motion to approve this $10,000 expense.
I will move that we approve the Taylor Chad. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna. Mitchell, you're gonna have to help me out here on pronouncing the names. Minette, Schneider, and Cutter.
Yep, you got it.
Expense of $10,000, or excuse me, yeah, $10,000 to be taken out of the bond issuance expense account.
See a second from Sam. Any other questions?
I'll second.
Any other questions on the invoice? Vote to approve. I would.
Harold, I'm sorry, Harold, what was your vote?
Vote for.
Bob?
4.
Sam?
4.
Okay, approved 3-0.
Very good. That takes us up to the election of officers.
So yeah, your guys' bylaws actually require that at your first meeting of every year that you elect officers. I know you guys just did this a little bit ago, but just to follow your bylaws, actually Bob caught it and made sure I added it to the agenda. So you guys do have to vote for president, vice president, and a secretary.
May we just do a simple motion that say that we maintain the current officers as the previous?
Yep, that would be fine if everyone's agreeable to that.
Then I move
that would be okay with me.
All right, then I move that the officers for 2021 will be the same as they were in 2020.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate with 4.
Aye.
4.
I hear 3-0, I think, to retain the same officers in place.
Got it. And that's just to verify, Harold, you're the president, Sam, you're vice president, and Bob, you're the secretary, correct?
Correct.
Everyone agree?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, the other thing we have to think about is the arbitrage rebate calculation for the Avon Redevelopment Authority. This is interesting exercise.
Yeah, and this is a little bit in advance, and if you guys want to wait, you can wait. You actually don't need to do it for a while, but Ice Miller is our bond counsel, so they're the ones that sent the proposal, and they just said, I mean, obviously you can read their letter, but they said, hey, if you want to get it on our calendar, we'll make sure when the time comes that we actually move forward and do the arbitrage and the rebate calculation to make sure that you're keeping your bonds up to date and that you're following your lease indenture. So their fees relatively nominal. They said $2,500 to $3,500. So that's pretty reasonable expense. So I thought I'd put it on here and see if you guys had any questions.
Do we need to do this at this time then, or it looks at the way I read it, we can go out a couple of years before we have to do anything.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it. The only thing is just trying to remember to do it later. So again, just trying not to lose it in process. And
Good point.
but we don't have to do it now. If you guys want to take it under advisement, it can show up at a future agenda as well.
Ryan,
Sam, what do you think?
It doesn't make a difference to me. Is there any benefit to doing it now aside from not forgetting to do it later?
Yes, I would see that as a benefit of going ahead and getting it on the calendar. I assume that getting it on the calendar now, but that may not be the case. But they did have quite a range of what that fee would be to do this task. But if we lock it in now, maybe they won't raise it. I don't know.
Good point.
True.
hey, Ryan,
Yes, Mitchell.
how long have we used Ice Miller as our bond counsel?
Oh gosh,
Roughly.
probably the last 7 years, probably. Yeah, I guess the point Mitchell's probably making, the only risk would be is if we chose to go with another bond counsel. That I assume that's the point you're making, Mitchell, is if we choose to have a different bond counsel, would we want them to do it instead of Ice Miller?
No, I was just my question just went towards how long we've been in a relationship with Ice Miller and how, while this is a couple of years out, this isn't uncommon for them to send this letter. I was confident that the town had been working with them for a while, and this was just kind of our standard practice and not something other than that.
Thank you.
So the question is there other people out there to do this task? And should we look at putting out bids or anything like that? Or is that for this amount of money? I don't see it myself. I guess I was directed to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I would say, and so to Mitchell's point, we've had a longstanding relationship with Ice Miller. I imagine that they're going to give us a better rate. If we go shop it to somebody else, we're probably, it's probably not great for our relationship with Ice Miller, but we're probably also not going to get a better deal. It's relatively inexpensive. It would be a lot of effort to probably go through and try to get bids from other people or quotes from other people for as small of a dollar amount as it is.
Ice Miller's done a lot of things out here for a lot of people through the years. And I would definitely wouldn't have any problem with, I would move to accept this proposal and get it on our docket at this time.
I would second that.
Any other comments? If not, how do we vote for approval?
I'll approve.
Oh yeah, I'll do roll call real quick. Harold?
4.
Bob?
4.
Sam?
4.
Approved.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
And I think that is everything that I see on our agenda for the evening. Ryan, you have anything else that we need to discuss?
No, sir. That's everything I've got.
Very good.
The only other thing that
Yes.
we were thinking of, what Ryan and I communicated back and forth, well, to everyone as far as email, is the activity report for last year, which is due, I believe, April.
Yes.
And Ryan indicated that we'd be looking at that in our March meeting. Is there anything that we need to do on that, Ryan, is the question.
No, I was going to say we'll probably draft something and put it on your agenda in March for you guys to look at and basically approve. And then we'll forward it on to the council then.
Okay.
Your guys,
Sounds good.
your activity last year was, you guys didn't have much. You basically had an organizational meeting and training, and that was about it. So I think your report next year is going to be much more interesting, probably.
Anything else? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll second.
The meeting is adjourned at 5:00.